Hi betting experts, on Saturday April the 1st we've got a traditional ITV 7 on Saturday, the best of the turf flat action from the Lincoln meeting at Doncaster and some really high quality all-weather stuff from Kempton. We start off with our betting expert Daily Nap in the 3 o'clock at Doncaster. This is the Camage Trophy Stakes, a listed contest over 6 furlongs, and I think Comanche Falls has everything in place here to make a winning return. Now Michael Dodds' handicapper has been an absolutely fantastic advert for the stable over the years. He's won 9 times from 26 career starts, which is a pretty remarkable strike rate for a sprinter who's been racing from a very high marks in handicaps or listed contests. He's won £370,000 worth of prize money. He always goes particularly well at Doncaster on testing ground. He's bound to be primed to make a winning return here, and I think he can out-battle some rivals who've got a little bit more upside perhaps than him or are a little bit less exposed. Our betting expert value angle selection runs in the day's feature, the 3:35 at Doncaster, the Lincoln, a heritage handicap over the straight mile for 4-year-olds and upwards, and I've had my eye on a while. In fact, I think he's one of the horses to follow this season. I suspect he won't be in handicaps for much longer. He's a very smart prospect. Simon and Ed Crisford are very much an operation to keep on the right side of throughout this turf season, and their unexposed sort is sure to be primed to make a winning reappearance here. He's been well backed in the last few weeks. The connections have booked James Doyle, which is extremely eye-catching. We saw him land a huge gamble into handicaps at Redcar only in October, handling the deep conditions really well, and I think there'll be loads more improvement in the tank after just 4 career starts. He's actually only run twice on the turf. Conditions are likely to be pretty attritional at Doncaster on Saturday. Certainly anyone who's watched the jump racing there over the last 6 months or so knows it gets very soft very quickly, and I think it'll be all about stamina over this straight mile. The remaining 5 races on ITV, I would suggest small stakes for some of these Donny races. The 150s, the Brocklesbury, the traditional curtain raiser to the 2-year-old season, a guessing game here, all first time out. Go to Work comes from a really good yard, Dave Evans, and his horses are going well now. They weren't for a lot of the winter on the all-weather, but they've hit form. There have been a couple of real plots landed, and I suspect it's significant that this 2-year-old starts off in this big race. Over to Kempton, the 205, the Magnolia, a listed contest over 1 mile 2. Well, Tyrrhenian Sea represents Roger Varian, an excellent yard, and his 5-year-old's 3 from 6 on all-weather surfaces. He's had a fitness advantage here, I suspect, after running well behind the prolific Lord North at Lingfield in February, and that could count for plenty. Back to Donny for the 225, the Spring Mile, over a mile, Class 2 for 4-year-olds and upwards. I'm looking for history to repeat itself here with Arthur's Realm. Now, he won this race last year. He landed a real late plunge. I think he was a sort of 14, 12 to 1, and he halved in price in the last 3 minutes and showed why. Despite pulling really hard in 2022, didn't settle at all. He saw things out really gamely there. He's fallen back down the weights after a couple of lesser efforts afterwards, and he's had a sighter now on the all-weather early in the month. I wouldn't read too much into that. I think that was just to put him spot on for this repeat bid. If he settles a bit better, I think he'll take a bit of beating here. Should go really well. Back to Kempton for the 240, a handicap over a mile. Well, Darwin Line represents very shrewd connections, John Butler. You'd like to see some money around for him, it has to be said, before parting with your own cash, but he's open to a bit of improvement after just 3 runs for these astute connections. He was with David O'Mara before. He's had a gelding operation. He's certainly one to keep an eye on. Back to Kempton, finally for the 3:15, the Queen's Prize handicap, over 2 miles. Aced it. Well, has been running really well in defeat since winning over this course and distance in January. His small connections, he's often underrated in the market. Camilla Pool wouldn't be a household name by any means, but he's a tough and reliable stayer, perhaps a little bit exposed, but he's sure to give his running again. Best of luck with all 7 ITV races on Saturday, betting experts.